This podcast is part of the MyPodcast.com network. Go online right now and get your very own 100% free podcast, MyPodcast.com.
Hello, my name's George Rowe, and I'd just like to say hello to all of you out there listening to my podcast. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you to drop in and have a little listen. I'd just like to say that today I'm going to be tackling a very tender subject, and that's the subject of, do we really need old people? Because to be totally honest with you, I'm not sure that we do. I don't think the film Logan's Run necessarily had that many bad ideas. I think 65 is probably a good age to start getting rid of them, because that's about, it's retirement age. They've stopped really putting anything back into society, and then it's that age that they start to sort of settle down and start having problems with their hips or back problems or whatever, and they just become a burden on all of us. And then they start telling us their awful stories about, how when they were younger, the world was a much harder place, and, I had to have down 3 jobs, and it was because back in those days you couldn't get bread. No, it wasn't. The old people that we've got now are not the old people that lived during the war. Those people I've got all the time for in the world. They fought off tyranny and oppression and one of the most aggressive fighting machines in history, and they didn't even have enough water for a bath. They weren't even clean. But they did it anyway, and they did it without moaning. I haven't got a problem with these guys. They did it. They didn't moan. They just got on with it. Yes, well done to you. It's that generation a little bit younger that are now around about 65 or so. They're about Paul McCartney's age. They were around in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s perhaps. And I've seen documentaries on them, and if they want to sit there and moan at me because I don't think I'm working hard enough, I've seen all about the time you were there, rife with strikes it was. You think I'm lazy? You were striking left, right and centre. You didn't even bother going to work. You brought British industry to a standstill. How dare you talk to me like that? Well, I try and build this country back up from the ashes you left it in. Whoa, disgusting. And I've got no interest in helping these people. I think they pretty much had a free ride on what was post-war optimism. And now that the world's sort of righting itself a bit, I think we should get rid of them. Eskimos wouldn't put up with it. Eskimos, they get rid of their old. They just stick them on an ice raft and they send them out into the sea. I'm not quite as cruel. I haven't quite got the malicious side to me that an Eskimo might have. I say, let's not just send them out to their death. We'll give them the Isle of Wight or the Isle of Man or somewhere like that to live on. Let them get on with it. It might be really nice. I think it'd be a lot nicer than sending them to to an old people's home where we don't know where they're being treated. At least they can all look after themselves. The slightly younger old people can look after the slightly older old people, and they can form their own little society. Who knows? They might even start up cardigan couture. It might be the new fashion sensation, and it might become one of the biggest and best places in the world to live. And if that happens, you know what? I'll be the first to hold my hand up and say, I was wrong. Old people, they can do it. It's my generation that's the problem, but you know what? I don't think it is. Because my generation is sorting out all the problems that the older people, and the older generations have messed up. Global warming's one of them. They knew it was coming. People were talking about global warming and an oil shortage about 30 years ago. Did they do anything about it? Of course not. We'll keep pumping filth and muck into the atmosphere. Leave our kids to deal with it. Not very nice. We've got to put up with that now. They disgust me. I hope they disgust you as well. I've got no time for old people at all. And they're paying less on their TV licence. And yet if there's anything on TV that they don't like, they complain in huge numbers, meaning that they spoil all the fun for the rest of us, in particular the young generations. I'm paying more and I'm getting less service. Just get rid of them. You wouldn't put up with this. Bunch of mumpers. They think just because they've been around a bit longer, the world owes them a favour. Well, it's not so. Well, I say, you know what? You've had your time, mate. And it's about time you handed the reins over to a few people who are a little bit more forward-thinking than you and can sort things out a little bit better. Because you've made an absolutely atrocious job, an absolute sham you've made of this world. Well, that's just my opinion. I dare say you've got your own opinion on the matter. But I hope you do tune in next time. I've been George Rowe, and this has been the George Rowe Podcast. See you next time.